Good afternoon, everybody, from Anderson Forge. It's time to show I guess we'd call this one here the first knife I've made in 2021. I started it in 2020, finished it here in 2021. Anyway, this is a knife, I guess a profile style that I affectionately call my Black Iron Hunter, simply because when I make this particular knife, excuse me, I'm drinking coffee, I parkerize both the blade and the guard, and so far I think just about every one I've made I've used a utility grade of desert ironwood. You'll have to excuse this. Wow, pretty sweet, isn't it? Huh, nice stuff. This is a utility grade of desert ironwood, and each one of them just gives a little surprise. But anyway, this particular knife is Cru-Forge-V, and pardon me just a minute. This is the bar of Cru-Forge-V. It is, I wrote that on there with some paint. I'm telling you, I don't remember when I bought this, either 2000, I don't know, 6 or 7, 2008, something like that. This Cru-Forge-V, V standing for vanadium, made by Crucible Steel. And here you can see like how I start to forge a knife out of it from this round bar. This Cru-Forge-V was offered by Crucible Steel. Now I've said this before in a couple videos, but every time I show a video doesn't mean you've seen all the other ones before it. Cru-Forge-V was designed by Crucible Steel with the assistance of a fellow named Dan Farr, F-A-R-R. And this is a true story. I was having a little trouble doing some things with this Cru-Forge-V. I called Crucible and talked to the metallurgist who was in charge of the creation and marketing of Cru-Forge-V. He got a lot of assistance from Dan Farr, and Dan Farr, who's an ABS journeyman smith, I believe, like myself, was so instrumental in the creation of Cru-Forge-V that metallurgist, the Crucible metallurgist in charge of this program, wanted to call it Cru-Far-V. He even said his personal folder that he had in his filing cabinet under his desk had the title on that tab, had the title written Cru-Far-V, and that's what he wanted to name it. But when it came time for Crucible to actually, register the name of one of their steels, the board, whoever's in charge of such things, couldn't have a name of somebody who was not an employee with Crucible Steel associated with one of their products. So they called it Cru-Forge-V. It was designed by Dan Farr and Crucible Steel with the explicit purpose of being a forging steel. Most of the time, we used steels from other parts of the steel industry that we use that was not their original intention, like W1 or something. It was drill bit rod, 5160, and things like 1084 even sometimes were spring steel, but we figured out how to use them for knives. Well, this steel was designed to be used specifically for the forging knife maker, and the vanadium makes it so abrasion resistant that anybody out there who has ever used it can attest to its abrasion resistance. It just laughs at even high-tech sandpaper. So with all that said, when this stuff was made, there was only one melt of Cru-Forge-V made. One time. Hang on, now somebody's hollering, "Hello? I'm back here." Okay, well, I just had a UPS man show up. So what I was about to say, right in the middle of a video. So anyway, what I was about to say is, this stuff was only made one time. They came up with this design for this steel, made a big melt of it one time, and then directly after that, Crucible Steel went into a restructuring. I don't know if it was Chapter 11 bankruptcy or whatever, but it was only made one time, and when they came back online with production, it was never made again. So it was only made one time. You can't go out and buy a bunch of Cru-Forge-V. You can't buy this stuff hardly anywhere that I know of, because I've had this for more than a decade. I think about 2007 or 2008. So all that said, and hope for no more interruptions, I'll say here's my, this is a Parkerized Cru-Forge-V blade, Parkerized steel guard, desert ironwood handle. The handle is about 3/4 thick, just a little, 13/16, something like that. It's a 4, and by golly, it is a 4 and 13/16 blade, about a 4 3/8 handle. Really comfortable. I need to make myself one of these days. Wet molded sheath from Wickett and Craig, and I intentionally, they had some, this is drum dyed Wickett and Craig leather, 8-9 ounce leather, and they had some specials around Christmas, almost blemished. This is not a perfectly clean piece of leather. There's little gouges and stains, and there's some dents and dings, and I got it intentionally because I kind of wanted some sheaths to look, even though they're brand new, to look like worn, if that makes any sense. A little bit rugged. So that's that steel. It's a wet molded fit. I mean, it's not going to come, this thing ain't going to come out of there, but give it a little snug, and I need to be careful. There's a bunch of oil on this blade, so don't let that confuse anybody. I wonder if I hold this still. There we go. Trying to figure out can't move too fast for the camera to focus, right? So anyway, I'll quit dragging this out. Yep, takedown once again, and I've said this so many times, I'll probably keep on saying it. I don't always just make this for the people who are subscribed to my YouTube channel, but I make these for the knife owner, so he can see any unique characteristics of taking this knife apart, or maybe I'll have something to say about a piece or a part or a function. So anyway, they've got a record of it. Stainless steel, 1032 thread. I repeat, I don't like to pull my handle and guard off all in one piece. If they will, I want to take them off separately. So if you were to hold the knife like this, just roll it 180 degrees, and I put my thumb right in that guard, and I push like that. That's how that handle comes off. Here are both pins in the handle. You should be able to see those pins. They're free floating 16th inch stainless dowel pins. And here's our guard. Sometimes, now this is a really, really tight guard. It was tight before I parkerized it, and I think parkerizing, actually you can see fingerprints here, I think parkerizing actually adds like a 1/1000th or something like that to the thickness. It builds up on it. So you gotta, might need to rock this thing back or forth to get it to start to come off. Parkerized, mild steel guard, Parkerized, tang, everything's Parkerized. Kind of get it, I'm just going to get it kind of started here. We're going to put one pin in the, how's that going? We're going to put one pin in the guard, the opposite pin in the handle. Kind of get things started. There we can see how things are, right? And everything should seat and end up being where it's supposed to be. There, the handle's up. Now it's going to push that guard right into place. And there she is. Might be some oil on the handle here. But there she is. There's our black iron hunter. Everything should be really nice and dialed in. All right, well, I can get this sharpened and sent off. You guys have a good 2021 in this land of psychosis. Okay, y'all take care and see you down the line.